This doesn't look like Cedar Point. I don't think we're on the right road.
I'm wondering if we missed a turn somewhere.
This is a nice looking place. Maybe they can tell us where we're at.
I hate asking for directions though.
I know, but it's just...
You sure?
Yeah, it'd be fine. Looks like a nice place.
Surely somebody's out.
Kent Farms.
Wait, Northern Ohio, Kent Family Farms.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is Zoe Kent's place?
I guess that's a possibility. I hadn't really
Hey, there's
thought.
somebody over here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
think it's Zoe?
I doubt it. There's no way.
I just hope we don't get like trespassing charges or something,
Yeah,
stopping
hey,
at some
I've
random
heard
person's farm.
Northern Ohio farmers are nice.
Yeah, that's what.
You guys?
Hey,
You were right.
it is Zoe Kent.
You guys are from the dig, right?
We are.
Yeah, yeah.
We took the day off today. We're trying to go to Cedar Point. We missed a turn somewhere.
We assume.
We think, yeah, unless it's up the road, maybe a little bit here, but we need some directions.
Okay, well, I can give you directions. It's really easy from here, but before you guys leave, can I ask you guys some questions? I have a lot of questions right now about what we should be doing here on the farm.
That is a great idea. And actually, I say we just make a dig video out of this interaction.
Let's do it. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of The Dig, a series dedicated to helping you improve profitability on your farm.
On today's episode, we're with Zoe, and we're gonna do an impromptu video.
Yeah.
I'm Aaron, this is Collin.
I'm Zoe.
Let's dig in!
Zoe, we appreciate you taking the time to visit with us. We hope that we can answer some of your questions, but we have a few questions for you.
Sure, what you got?
Who is Zoe Kent?
Yeah, so I am a 8th generation farmer here in Ohio. I produce corn, soybeans, and content. I took over from my dad about 4 years ago, but he's still here every day helping me out.
Is he here today?
He's always here.
Is he a historian, I guess, of the farm?
He knows this farm history a lot better than I do.
So maybe we should go talk to him and we can get even more backstory.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey Dad, I roped you into something.
Okay,
Mr. Mickey, how are you?
pleased to meet you.
That's a heck of a t-shirt right there.
Well, thank you.
So we have a couple questions. We were talking to Zoe outside. We wanted to ask a couple questions for her and learn about her, but now we want to learn a little bit about your history of your operation. So when did your farm start? What did what does all that look like?
Well, it started back in the 1800s, 1826. It was land granted, and Zoe's the 8th generation. We've been here plugging along ever since.
How long have you been a Beck's customer?
Since 2013.
Okay, a few years then.
100%. Been very happy.
Good.
Okay, Dad could talk about this stuff for hours, but we're gonna have to shut him down. We have the planter out there if we want to go look at it. I'll warn you, it has not been cleaned up yet, but I got some
It's
questions.
technically still planting season in some areas.
We might be replanting.
You lead the way.
Okay, come on. Well, here are the planters.
Well, I see one thing already that I feel like you probably picked up from the PFR book.
Yep, me
Those
too.
poly twister closing wheels.
Absolutely.
Yep. What do you think of them? You like them?
We really like them. We put them on the corn planter back in 2020 to see if we liked it, and then we doubled down the next year, put it on the bean planter. But I mean, they've been on there a while. Is this still the latest and greatest, or?
I mean, it's one that I still
Yep.
recommend a lot myself. I would say the majority of the time I'm probably recommending those. Now, we've tested all kinds of closing wheels, right? Whether the furrow force closing wheel system, you name it, we've probably tested it in PFR. And really what it boils down to is if anything other than 2 solid rubbers, you usually see a benefit and you're money ahead by doing that.
Perfect, perfect. Now, I've been looking at the hydraulic downforce. I know it's pretty pricey. Do you think it's worth it?
So you're talking about the corn planter over here,
Yeah.
probably, right? So we've done a lot of work with hydraulic downforce, and that's in uniform plots, right? That we're doing this, and we've seen really good benefit. And where I tell people a lot of times is, you are gonna see a benefit from hydraulic downforce. Hard to say exactly what kind of benefit you're gonna see, but even if you're conventional till, no-till, I guarantee you're gonna see a benefit and a positive ROI on that. It's just gonna be a little bit different for everybody's operation on how long that takes to pay off.
All right, well that's probably enough with the planter, but side dress season's coming in. I know a lot of guys around this area are going hot and heavy.
I totally forgot. I was trying to fill up the tank when you guys got here. So yeah,
You probably still need to do that.
You guys have time? We'll just pop over there. I'll ask you a few questions at the field.
Yeah, let's do it.
We can do that. All right, Zoe, we made it out here to the side dress rig. Tell us a little bit about it and what you're putting on.
Yep, so they call this triple threat. We got a wide drop and then we have it going down that center. We're putting on some 26, some sulfur, and then a product, Ultramate zinc. So we got that zinc in there. That seemed good to you guys?
Yeah, we've actually tested zinc quite a bit in the past, seen good results with that as a starter additive, and then also on the sulfur piece, right? I mean, we've tested thiazole, looking at that. We all know the whole sulfur story. We get less atmospheric sulfur now, so we have to supplement that. And again, another thing we've seen great returns with. So I would say money well spent on adding those products in.
Good, and I know you guys say V3 is the optimal time to be side dressing. Now, this isn't quite there, but we're gonna have a large rain event come on Thursday, and this field's hardly ever fit, so is that okay?
Sometimes when people think of our PFR data and just all the other research data out there, they think that's gospel, right? But at the end of the day, you gotta do what's best for your operation. You gotta look at weather, look at things like that. And obviously, if you got a large rain event coming in, yeah, you're gonna have to go and push that envelope and maybe go a little bit sooner. So I think that's perfectly fine as long as it all gets done.
Sounds good. Okay, well, last thing is I picked up a kind of new toy I'd like to ask you guys some questions about.
I love new toys.
Let's do it. All right, Zoe, so I seen in one of your videos that you had bought a new spray drone, and obviously right here it is. So tell me a little bit about it and what's your game plan?
Yeah, so we've been seeing a lot of tar spot pressure in our area the last couple of years, and you know, we got to get that fungicide on it, but paying that cost to the co-op to spray it was kind of adding up, so I decided to invest in one myself. I don't really know much about it. I haven't done it before. I've gotten some Veltima to put in it, but give me everything you got.
I mean, so when it comes to drone applications, we've really only looked at some carrier rate differences a little bit. Didn't see much there in that study. This year, we are looking at different adjuvants through the drone. So one thing I'm excited about, right? Some of the proven adjuvants that we already have out there, we're gonna try and run them through the drone because we know they work in the sprayer. How's it help the drone? pH is another big thing we're looking at this year. You think about the concentration of chemical with a 2-gallon Viacre carrier rate as opposed to 15 or 20-gallon Viacre in the sprayer, our pH levels are different. So we're actually gonna be looking at adjusting the pH to get that on the same level playing field with our ground versus drone study to see if maybe pH is playing into some of the benefits we've seen from the drone.
Okay, and when would you guys recommend spraying?
We always want to say spray in the morning with the Duon, right? We get that extra carrier rate on the leaves of that plant, and it helps kind of move that fungicide throughout that plant. So in the morning, skip the coffee shop in the morning and go spray your fungicide.
So what's the PFR proven growth stage for this?
So that VT R1 time frame has kind of been our PFR proven. What I always tell people is really, you know, the day before the disease sets in, that's when you should be out there spraying it. So if you can predict that, I'm kidding, we can't do that, right? I'd be a millionaire if I could do that, but we can't do that. So really, it's gonna depend on a lot of things, but really what we've seen time and time again, that VT-R1 time frame usually sets us up for pretty good success.
That's the sweet spot. Zoe, thanks for letting us hang out today. Hopefully we answered some questions for you on your operation.
Oh, for sure. This was great. But I do kind of need to get back to side dressing.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I get that, and we should wrap this up. So, I mean, with that, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you get notifications when new videos are released. And we will see you again on another episode of
The Dig!
So anyways, about those directions to Cedar Point.
Oh yeah, you're gonna turn left.
Here, turn left.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, that's easy enough.
Thanks for having us.
Yep,
Thanks
see
again.
you guys.
Sorry we bugged you for so long.
That is not left.